Hey everybody, let's see if we went live today. We've been having some challenges. So are we live? If anybody's out there and you can see us, wave, thumbs up, say hello. We ended up in Facebook jail. Woo-wee. And don't have any clue if things are going to post live or not. So if you're around, please say hello. We'd love to see you. I'm not exactly sure what we did to get ourselves in jail, but hey, fun time, fun place to be. So I think we're live. If you're there live, please say hello, let us know. Today is the final and fifth day of the policy party, and we're going to give out prizes today for those that have participated and have been involved with action takers, and for people that are most engaged this week. We've had some phenomenal people participating and involved. We're going to make sure to have parties, and then people here live today, there will be a special drawing at the end for you. If you would like to be here, we're going to have a special drawing for that Michael Hyatt special set we talked about that you can't even purchase. So I'm excited to give that away. So thanks so much for coming today. I believe we're live, which is just amazing given the amount of challenges we've had this week. So who is ready for a party? Oh my gosh, I don't even have my hat on yet. You can't even see me. And here's my hat. Oh my gosh. So let's go. Are you ready? We're going to go. We are going to talk about let's see if we can share our screen, because, sometimes that's a challenge. And we're going to say hello to everybody here. Thanks, Sherry, for telling me to turn on my camera. Thanks, Lindsay, for telling me. Here we are. I didn't even have the hat on. It's been a day. So we're live. Who knew? So thanks, everybody, for being here. Prizes are to come. Thanks for coming. So now we're going to talk about where we've been in the party. This is your success path. So if you're working on yourself, you prioritized your policy, you figured out what you want to change, you found the people that can help you, you started thinking about what you're thinking about and whether or not it's true or false. And today we're going to talk about the story we tell and how you can change that around. And so that's going to be the special content today. And I'm excited to share that with you because we've never talked about it before anywhere on here. So it's exciting to get here. And then for those of us that are in the public policy space, we've talked about the same kind of path. We've talked about the policy and prioritizing it, finding the people that care about it. And then we talked about the pros and cons, and we had some great people doing their homework talking about, should we change things or not? Because a lot of people don't think about that. And then we talked about crafting our message yesterday. And I'm telling you, if you use the 6-step method we talked about yesterday, you will never leave a meeting unheard again, because you have all the tools and all the power it takes to say great things at a meeting. It tells you exactly how to do it, how to structure it, and everything. So this is our success path. So thanks for being here. Glad you've been able to go. You see, there's some group wins this week. Some people are talking about changing the world. Other people talking about how they're doing research on family first money. Other people are talking about the party, how excited they are. Others are working on work-life balance, and still others are working with their superintendent at school to make changes at school. How awesome is that? That's what we're all about, making things better at home, in the workplace, at school, in the community, wherever. So thanks everybody for making the world a better place. It's all because of you. So today we're just going to walk through where you've been. This is a sort of a picture. If you are a detailed person, what we just covered in that success path, you can see it lined out. And there's a little difference in day 3 and 4, but today you're going to have party favors at the end, and those are prizes. And so super excited that you're here. Grateful to have you. And we're going to look forward to making sure that we cover the topic material quickly and get into the party. So when you're thinking about your mindset, okay, there's 3 pieces to this, and let's dive in. So a lot of times we tell ourselves a story in our head about why we cannot fix something. And whether it's public policy or your own personal issues, it doesn't matter, but there's a story. And if you've ever told yourself something's impossible, you can't do it, you could never do it, or you always do a bad thing, you've got a story. And you're telling yourself this story over and over. And that story could be the key that's holding you back for whatever it is, whether it's public or private changes that you want to make in life. That story is important. But a lot of us don't take time to think about, well, what is the story? What are we even saying? What are we even doing? Why are we telling ourselves? So the first step is you have to identify the story. And I'm going to give you an example here in just a minute so you can see exactly how this works. But once you identify what the story is you're telling yourself, then you interrogate it. You look at this and from all sides. And then finally, you imagine a new story. And before I take any credit for this, because this is not my work, this is Mind Your Mindset by Michael Hyatt Miller. Megan Hyatt Miller. So if you're interested in more depth information, look for that. And that is one of the prizes that you can have free to you, the whole set of Mind Your Mindset, as well as the planning pads and the sticky notes, is one of the fast action bonuses we're offering today in the special offer. And you can't even get the planning pads or the sticky notes online. I've got my sticky notes right here today. I can show you. It's a big 3 where you can actually stick in your calendar on what you're going to focus on each and every day. And you can't buy those anymore. And so that's a special offer to you if you get involved just today in our fast action bonuses. And we'll talk about that in just a minute. But when you're thinking about your story, okay, so you have an identified story of what you do. So say you want to lose 20 pounds and maybe there's a story you've told yourself. It's never worked before. I always gain it back. I can't do it myself. My metabolism's too slow. I'm too old, whatever. And there's a whole story, right? And it goes around in your head and it sabotages what you're trying to do. So what you're going to try to do is figure out what it is you say to yourself. Now, there's going to be some facts in the story. So the facts could be, I'm at least 25 pounds overweight. I have not been successful in maintaining weight coming off, right? There's parts of the story that could be very much true. And that's okay. But we're going to start figuring out what is true and what are facts versus what is opinion. And we're going to walk through kind of what we did with the facts, what was true and false, pros and cons for the public policy. It's kind of the same thing here. Thinking about what are we thinking and is it really true? And a lot of times what we think isn't true. And so we're going to put that down. So first you're going to identify the facts. So say you're telling yourself you're overweight. But maybe that's the truth. Okay, so how many pounds are you overweight? Write it down. Fact, right? You have a scale. You can look at a chart or your doctor could tell you, right? That could be a fact. You could also have a fact that you've lost weight before and gained it back, or a fact that you haven't been successful in the past. Lots of things could be a fact, but there's probably a lot fewer facts than you think. A lot of other things become assumptions or opinions. And that's where we start stepping into interrogating the story. So we're going to talk about the story, like we said first, anything you want to change. And it could be in your personal life. It could be a policy. And you're like, this is just impossible. What are you going to say about that, right? And then you start looking to interrogate the story and you identify those facts first. But then you start talking about the assumptions. And the assumptions we talked about yesterday, and they're very the same. So we interpret things that this means this. I am in menopause, so I can't lose weight. You pair that together. I'm over 50. I can't lose weight. You pair that together. I have slow metabolism and I can't lose weight. You pair that together. Do all of those things necessarily cause one another? No, but we've paired them as assumptions. And you hear it so often in the media that you just assume it's true. But are there things that you can do to change all of those things? The answer is yes. And so when you're thinking through your story, you have to figure out, okay, what's an assumption? There's things called interpretations, right? X means Y. Well, because I'm over 50, I can't lose weight. So you've determined that because of this age, you can't do this. Is that really true? Or is it an opinion? Have you ever seen anyone over 50 that's in a healthy weight? I know I have. I've seen lots of people over 50 in healthy weight, right? So those things clearly aren't causation, but we've made them that way. Or like we talked about yesterday, universals, right? This is always the case. This is never the case. I could never lose weight. Now, you may have traveled or tried some strategies that didn't work, right? But those are some strategies. There's a lot more. So you keep going. You don't give up the goal just because you don't understand the strategy, right? So that's what we're talking about today. And then which past experiences kind of inform your story? What you're thinking about here is what happened before that you're thinking about? Oftentimes we assume because something didn't work before, it won't work now. And that's, again, an assumption. Just because it happened. Now, there could be pieces you need to pay attention to, right? If you did some quick fix diet program to lose a whole bunch of weight in 12 weeks on a really low calorie diet with powdered foods and whatnot, which I know are out there, and then you gain the weight back, right? That's a story that is proven by research that happens a lot. And so that's a little bit different because you could say, well, that failed. It fails for a lot of people. Does it fail for everybody? No, it does not. But it does for a lot. And so you can get context around that and be like, if I did those big calorie deficit things, I'm going to be in trouble? The answer could be yes, but don't just assume because it didn't work before, it won't work now, because things change in your life. Your body changes. So, and then the past doesn't have to like repeat itself. And the thing that happened before could happen again, but differently, right? Sometimes our brain looks for patterns and just assumes because this happened before, this is what the outcome's going to be. And they may be very, very different contexts. So think about what's different this time. What may be different now, right? Maybe you have some big event that you're really excited about, so you're more motivated than usual to have to move forward. Like you're more motivated this time around. And so that could be a bigger reason to want to lose weight. Or maybe you've had a health scare and you need to do it for different reasons. That context matters. Then number 5, thinking about what do you want to be true? Do you want to be a person that can't lose weight? Or do you want to be somebody who can be healthy long-term? What you want and your why matters. And so when you're thinking about your story, what do you really want? And that's going to be a big piece of it. And then finally, you look at all of those information, the facts, all the assumptions, all the context, and then start sorting out what is true and what might not be true, right? And this is when you get to the fun part. When you get to the fun part is you imagine a new story. So you take the pieces that are real, that are true, and you keep those as part of the story, but you change the other parts. So you can say, I have failed at losing weight a few times, or I have not been successful in keeping it off, whatever is the most specific, or I've only lost a few pounds, or whatever it is, right? That could be truthful and honest. But the next statement could be, I'm going to find a new strategy, or I have a new strategy that I will be successful this time. Or I will find a coach to help me so that I can stay on track, right? There's people in our group today. Morgan's on board today, and she's a coach, and she helps people in this space. Her big piece is thinking about not making people give up their vices, like their pizza, their beer, their cocktails, their ice cream, I think she said this week. Those things that people love often are the reason why they don't lose weight. They tell themselves, I could never give up ice cream, so I can't lose weight. That's not the truth, right? So make a new story. Now, I'm sure that's a lot, and you may be thinking, holy cow, that's a lot of information. But what I want to talk to you now about is the offer that we've been talking about this week that could help with you if you're somebody that wants to make a change. Maybe it's a policy change that you've wanted to change, but you tell yourself it's too hard, I just can't do it. Then this is for you. Can I get permission? Who's here that wants to hear a little bit more today? I've had a lot of questions about it. What do we want to talk about? How do we want to go forward? Let's talk about how could you move forward if you've been stuck. Anybody here want to know that? Because sometimes it takes a little bit more work. Like you might just need to talk it out with somebody, and you need some help to have a coach that wants to talk to you. Oh, Lindsay says, please share more. Absolutely. Let's talk about what would it look like. Imagine this new story. If you have questions, we'll talk about that in just a second. And now it's time for party favors. We've had some friends this week that have popped in. I've been so grateful for them, and we're going to allow them to choose a gift of their choosing. And so I will be emailing you specifically so that you can grab the one you want. You don't have to have a certain one. We're going to let you pick them. But today we're going to have our first one is an action taker, and it's Miss Nina. Yay, Miss Nina. She's been in and out. She's been doing the replays at night. She's been putting in her homework, doing the work, man. She has been with us a time before, and she continues to amaze me. And I'm so proud of her because she's making a big difference in this policy space by doing the work. And I think she's amazing. Hi, Nina. Glad you could join us today. And so we'll be reaching out to Nina to make sure she picks out her gift. And the next person that's been a big engaged person this week is Cherry. Cherry has vlogged on this week. She is a mom of 9. She talks about how to connect with herself, with God, and her family, and herself, and pause. And she's amazing. So if you want to talk more parenting and how to connect with God and herself and her kids, then that's who you should reach out to, because Cherry's amazing, and she's been great this week, participating, coming on to lives, and just being a part of the whole game. So thanks, Cherry. Great to see you. Glad you could be here. So now we're going to talk about what do we need to do if you are stuck and you're like, I want to change things in my life, but I need a little bit of help. That's what this is all about. And Nina has been through our program before. She's on live today. If you have questions, she'd love to answer them because she has been through this and she's making big waves in the world making changes. Man, she's been into here to DC and back, working on policy in the mental health space and trying to make things better for her own kids and for the lives of many others. And so if you've got questions, Nina would be the one to ask, but we'd love to have you join us. So we don't want you to stay that frustrated advocate where you just don't know what to do. Like nobody's going to listen. We talked about this yesterday. You don't want to stay in this space. Instead, we want to move you from that frustrated advocate over to the effective policymaker. Because if you could move across that line, you will love it. You will figure out exactly how to put a story together. And once you have the framework, you could make it work for any story. Shoot, you could even get to go out to dinner where you want to go using your story and helping people understand why you can't make dinner tonight. And that is a reason to learn the 6 steps, because you have a story, you can give them some facts, give them some information. And the solution is we need to go out to dinner. So it works for policy at home as well as in the workplace. So the effective policymaker, what do they look like? Man, they're confident. They feel heard. Their message resonates. They start feeling comfortable in the space. Our friend Leslie has done this now, and she has quit her full-time job and just lobbies now for issues that she is passionate about for her family. And she does it all the time. And it started out with learning how to put the story together, how to feel confident, how to be smarter about it and not work so hard, know the key people to work with. Nina's done the exact same thing. And so these are the people that you'd want to work with and be around, and they'll be around to answer your questions if you have any about any of this. So then back to the policy. What does it look like? Well, it's a 6-module course. We release them at 3. Well, we're going to figure out how we're going to release them this time because we had some feedback last time about doing it different. But we release them periodically to make sure that you have plenty of time to dive into them. And it sounds like some of them are a little bit longer as far as implementation. And so we're working on building out implementation so people get the work done. But really, you learn all sorts of basic tricks. The other thing that we haven't told you, but there's that smarter secrets there at the bottom. There's some inside tips and tricks because I've worked in the State House as a lobbyist, as an advocate, and as a politician myself. And because of that, I have some inside baseball, if you will, about how to do it better so that you just don't waste time and you can get around some of the hurdles and, hopefully not have to suffer some of the things I've had to suffer through the years. We'll just make it work better. So this is what our weekly coaching calls. We do weekly coaching calls for 8 weeks, and we sit down and we all chat. And I'm telling you, one of the great things, and Nina can talk about this, is one of the great things is the network of great people that she met, because Nina now is friends with others who have also been in that group. And I see them connecting on their own, talking to each other about how they work on different things. So the power is this group. They're amazing people who have a mind for wanting to change the world. And I want to be around way more people like that. I hope you do too, because, Wendy is definitely one of our favorites. Wendy's an amazing woman who's out making big changes in the world for her family and friends. We have group support. So you'll be in a small group of just people that have been through the program. It's not for everybody. It's for people that are policy minded, and we support one another. We make friends, we help each other, we give each other ideas and tips. We talk about who am I contacting that maybe you should know? All those kind of great things are available. Then we talked about this a little bit yesterday with the call replays. The coolest part about this, it goes in a hub. You can watch them as videos in different speeds. You could listen to them as audio, or you can read them as a transcript, and it's searchable. So if you don't want to have all the time in the world to watch all the videos in the world, who does? You can go in and search for exactly what you need. And we put in questions each week. We put in our replays each week. So if you can't be live, you can still keep up, because we make sure that we use your name so you can search your name and find exactly what you need each week. And that's a pretty cool feature. So what we're talking about today, it's going to be $1797, or there's a 3 payment option, but you go to makinghealthierpolicies.com. It gives you all the information. If you're a person that needs all the details of what's in it, what's going to happen, all of that, it's there. So please just go over to the website right now and you can get all the information, because we want to make sure if you need more details, you got it. It's all there for you. So what's it going to look like for those that join our program? We're going to have onboarding calls here coming up in April. We'll have one on the 18th and on the 21st. And if you can't make either one, that's okay, because we'll be able to do, we'll call them guides in the Facebook group, and we'll do plan so that you can get started right ever, whatever works. But this is an opportunity for questions and answers, to maybe meet people who've done it before, those kinds of things. So these are the 2 dates. And if you sign up today, we will make sure you get these dates and get them on your calendar for whichever one works best for you. Then there's course information. We're going to do weekly Q&As starting the 24th of April at 10 a.m. Central. And so this is going to be on Mondays. We're going to do 10 a.m. Mondays, and this will be the live coaching calls. And we're going to talk about that and start that on April 24th. The goal is going to be 8 weeks. We'll take off for Memorial Day, because who doesn't want to party on Memorial Day? You got to don your hat for other reasons, right? And so we're going to take off Memorial Day, but it'll be a full 8 weeks. And then there'll be a follow-up program after for those who want to continue working on it, or to have continued opportunities to touch base and to get stuff done. We'd give a lot of homework assignments to help people stay on track to get what they want done, because it's all about getting your policy done. Now, the doors close Sunday night. Sunday night is when the doors close. So if you want to come in, you got to do it quickly, because you have between now and Sunday night to make sure that you're part of this next group. And as soon as you log in, as soon as you decide to sign up, the module 0, which is the baseline foundational work for all we do, opens right away. So you can get started right now. You don't have to wait till next week or the week after to get started. So make sure that you take the opportunity between now and Sunday and pay attention to when those doors close. Now, your path to success, you just buy that course, you join our group, you engage in our coaching, and you change that policy. And I hope. So now we're going to give away a prize for somebody who's here live with us today. And Lindsay, I'm going to let her pick who she sees active in the group. Just close your eyes, Lindy, and pick a person. And this is going to be our winner of our Michael Hyatt package. Whoa! We'll wait for Lindsay. Everybody, drum roll, please. Drum roll. And you know there's a Facebook lag. So, Cherry! Woo! So, Cherry, the books that you see on screen are available to you. You can have your best year ever. You can have a world-class assistant. You can be free to focus. You can have a no-fail meeting, or you can have no-fail communication. And you get a prize package that you can't buy anywhere else, because you are amazing. So, Cherry, whoa, congratulations. Thank you. We appreciate you. And I know this week had been challenging with a lot of different things. And being in Facebook jail, who the heck knows if we'd even be here today. So thank you all who participated, who were part of the fun. I want to make sure that you know that your feedback is really valuable to us. We make changes every time we do the program. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, if you have feedback, questions, anything else, this is where you need to go. This is your link. You can still submit questions. We'll still put them in the answers in the group. We'll make any kind of videos that you need to make sure that you get your questions answered because you've participated this week. Again, I want to say thank you so much. I'll be reaching out to Nina and Sherry and make sure that they get their gifts. And until the next time, I hope to see you out there making policies, because you all are amazing. You can make the world a better place. I believe in you, and I cannot wait to see you all